Good morning or afternoon, really. Today is Cinco de Mayo, and it's 2018. I started my day, went down to the local abortion clinic and said the rosary with a wonderful group of people, and we just hopefully surrounded that place with prayers that will just help girls change their mind. Have God hopefully will answer our prayers and have them change their mind. Anyway, today I wanted to um, play. I wanted to play this in the background called "Reverse Disease" and "Reclaim Your Health" with Dr. Rangan, which is Rangan, and then Chatterjee, Chatterjee. And and I also went to church, and I liked what the priest said today, Father Dirk. He was talking about there's still a lot of hate in this world, and what he was saying is that hate, really you're always thinking about me, and what yourself needs instead of, and you're also focusing, all that hate comes back on you, and it can cause some negative effects too, right, on yourself. But love, looks outward. It's looking outward and trying to help others. So just remember that, and that can be a positive. It's more positive, right? So, and of course, hate comes in all kinds of forms. Just saying things that are nice about other people. But anyway, that was part of the sermon this morning. And so let's go ahead and get started because I got to quickly go. Today, my grandson, Sean Jaden, receives his first communion. And I'm very excited about that. So we believe that Catholics believe that you actually receive the actual body and blood of the Lord. And so just a reminder that God is always with us, And I'm so thankful that he will be doing that today. So say a prayer for all those receiving First Communion for the first time. And if you haven't received communion in a while, go ahead and get back to the church, and they'll be welcoming you with open arms. What a refreshing place to be with loving people that care about the Lord and want to help others and do the loving things to this world for this world. So it's wonderful. So anyway, I'll quit talking now and we'll get started. Soul tape. I'm going to try to do a couple little dance moves. So anyway, let's go ahead and listen to him while we just do our warm-up stuff and our exercise, stretching, and things like that, okay? So here we go. All right, here we go.
These healthcare systems were set up in a different era, where what people went to see their doctor with was an acute problem. You'd go with a pneumonia, with a chest infection, fix it. Right? The problem is that the health landscape of the entire Western world, but arguably the whole world now, has changed dramatically, whereas the bulk of what we are seeing, right, is in some way related to our modern lifestyles. I don't think healthcare systems have kept up. I don't think medical school has kept up.
Okay, I just wanted to see who it is.
Welcome everyone to the School of Greatness podcast. We've got Dr. Rangan Chatterjee in the house. Good to see you, my friend.
Thanks for having me, Lewis.
Nice to meet you today. And you've had a big success in the UK and all over the world with a show that you have called Doctor in the House, which I've never seen, but I hear is incredible. And you actually move in with people for 4 to 6 weeks to help them transform their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, transform their health, whatever their health problem is, I'm there to help them.
Yeah.
But as you said, Lewis, the majority of the time, it is a lifestyle issue.
Yeah. It's not it's mostly changing their emotions, their habits, their routines. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm not putting blame on people. I just want to make that really clear. I'm not saying that people are doing it to themselves. Right? I think everyone's trying to be as healthy as they can.
Right.
within the context of their own life, within their job patterns and their beliefs and things. And I always start out with that, that people who wants to be overweight, right? Who wants to feel tired? I don't think anyone does.
No.
Right? So I start with that premise that everyone wants to be the best they can, and then I kind of try and figure out what is the obstacle there.
Why are people not the best they can be?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why is that? Why do you think we allow ourselves to go down and gain 100 pounds or, attract disease or feel low energy? Why do we allow ourselves to do that?
I don't think we're necessarily consciously allowing ourselves to do that. I think there's two factors to me. The first factor is knowledge is important, right? I think we have overcomplicated health in a huge way. And I think when we can simplify the messages to people, I think we've got a shot. But I don't think that's everything. I think there's a lot of emotional baggage that many of us carry, which we use sugar or food or our lifestyle choices, whether it's we stay up late or we binge on Netflix, we don't go to sleep, right, to compensate for other things in our life. And I don't think I've really, I've been practicing now for 17 years, I've been seeing patients for. I don't think I really got this maybe 6-7 years ago. I really don't. I think as I get more experience in my own life as a father, as a husband, as a more experienced doctor, you kind of learn more things. You kind of go, it's not that simple, actually. It's not quite as straightforward as giving people the information. You've got to inspire them. You've got to connect in a way that it means something to them. And, a lot of doctors say that actually patients don't do what we tell them to do, right? I don't buy it, right? And the reason I don't buy it is everybody wants to feel as good as they can, right? My job is, and the job of any healthcare professional, and you can expand it out beyond healthcare, right? Is can you communicate effectively with the person in front of you? Can you do it in a way that resonates, like deeply resonates? Because when you do that, right, people want to make the change. Mm-hmm. I genuinely believe that.
You just tell people you need to do this. You just need to do these things and you'll get better. It's not as important as, what? Your son who's 6 right now is really depending on you to be healthy. And this is going to help you live a longer life so you can see him go to school and marry someone and see your grandkids having more meaning behind it. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And something's just come to my head. The very first day ever that I filmed the show Doctor in the House, right? I was probably a bit nervous. There's a camera on me and I'm like, I know this is going to go out on prime time. And there was a family there, a few weight issues in the family, and I diagnosed the lady with type 2 diabetes on the first day. She didn't know she had it. And on the very first day, I said to them, hey guys, look, what do you usually eat? Okay? And I remember the guy said to me, he turned around and he said to the family, hey guys, what are you having? Just the usual? I said, yeah, just the usual, please, Dad. He goes, come on, Doc, come with me. So I went in his car with him. We drive 15 minutes out of town to a drive-through McDonald's. He spends about $60, $65 there on, just for 4 people. Right. But that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is that on the way there, he turned around to me and said, hey, Doc, this is really embarrassing, actually. I know this stuff isn't good for us, but we do this 5 nights a week.
Why? Because it feels good? Like the idea of it feels good, or it's comfort food, or tastes good?
If I want to say this, at the time, I don't think I knew. At the time I was like, okay, that's interesting, and that would just mull over in my head. And I kind of could try and figure out, they know that this is not good for them. They've got weight problems, they're not feeling very good, thinking about maybe moving jobs because they can't really perform the way they want to perform. This chap had lost his job as a fireman, and he used to be really proud to be a fireman. He wanted to get back into active service, yet he was still doing this, and it's emotional. It wasn't just information. Information was important, right? And yes, I did educate them.
Right. But they knew that it wasn't good for them.
Exactly. Right. And then you look around, certainly, particularly in this country, right? You see it all around the world, but the amount of people who are struggling with their health, right? It's not just as simple as saying, you've got to do better. I honestly don't think it is, because I used to think it is. But you've got to tap into, once people have got that respect for themselves, that understanding of what their meaning is, what their purpose is, I find that they do start making those changes. You can call me an eternal optimist if you want, but I really do believe that.
Yeah. You say that disease is an illusion. Why is that?
The reason I think disease is an illusion is basically the way we think about disease, right? Whether we're talking about type 2 diabetes, whether we're talking about depression, or whatever chronic disease you want to talk about, I think there's a perception in society that it's a thing. Once you cross that threshold, once you've met the criteria for the diagnosis, you've now got this thing, you've got this label, right? And I didn't realize till a few years ago, actually, that, let's take depression, for example, right? Depression is the name that we give to a collection of symptoms, right? There's no blood test that says, oh, you now have depression, you don't, right? I'm not trivializing this. This is a serious problem, right? In the UK, right? 1 in 4 people are going to get a mental health problem in any given year. Think about that for a minute. 25% of the population.
Why? Why is it so?
Why? This is the point of all my work, right? Is that collectively, the way that we are living our modern lifestyles is having a negative impact on the way that many of us are feeling. For me, it's that simple, right? It's not about blame. It's not about saying you are doing this to yourself. It's about this whole mismatch between the way that modern Western society is set up now compared to our genetic and our evolutionary heritage.
Being in nature.
Being in nature.
Yeah. It's healing and therapeutic, and you disconnect. I just went to Hawaii for 4.5 days and left my phone in LA and my computer here and had zero connection to a device. And it's amazing how the body heals so quickly from any stress or tightness or tension or overwhelm or depression feeling or whatever it may be. You start to heal naturally.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we literally just said, 1 day a week we're not going to be on our phone, or 1 night a week we're not going to be on our phone, we're going to be in nature, I think our health would drastically improve.
There's one of the chapters in my book is literally called that, the screen-free Sabbath. Embrace 1 day a week. For one day a week, try and go off your screens completely.
Yeah.
But then I'm also a realist, and I say, hey, look, if 1 day sounds too scary,
Do an evening.
Do an evening. Stop with 1 hour.
Don't have it on during lunch or dinner. Don't take your phone out when you're eating.
That's a rule in my family. In my house, there's no phones or electronic stuff around the table when we're eating. It winds me up, and it's you say that in February this year, I had just been traveling around the country doing a lot of speaking gigs. I've been promoting my book in the UK. Right, I was feeling burnt out, and I remember phoning my wife and I said, "Babe, I need a holiday. Right, I don't care where we go. I want heat. I want relaxation." And we booked a last-minute holiday to Dubai. Wow. And I went with my 2 young kids and my wife, and I got to the hotel, right? Nowhere to find. My laptop and my phone went in the hotel safe, and it stayed there all week.
That's great.
And it's a different experience, I was connecting, I don't think we realise that the noise that this creates in our mind in every single day. Yeah. Just how many times we look at them, there's studies now showing that if we were communicating now and we had our smartphones on the table there, we would have a less meaningful conversation, right? Just from having it there, even if it wasn't
being aware of it.
Just being aware, what's going on there? I'm missing an email, there's something coming in.
A buzz or a light in a flash.
Yeah. But can I say, Lewis, just a patient story that I talk about in my book, but I think, can I share it with you? It's, this is a few years back, right? This is before I had my first experiences with my own family and my son that forced me to confront some realities about my medical training. And I was on a busy Monday afternoon, what we call a surgery, right? I had 3 or 4 patients waiting outside.
You were doing surgeries or?
So when we call surgery, so I'm currently, I used to be trained as a specialist. I was doing kidney medicine. Yeah. But I was getting very frustrated about how specialised we're becoming in medicine. And I kind of feel sometimes we miss the big picture. Yeah. So I changed the approach as opposed to just treating the symptom.
Sorry.
You got to treat the whole, right?
You got to treat the whole, and we are missing that in medicine.
Just treat one area, it's still going to come back.
It's still going to come back. Yeah, and that's kind of what my whole approach is about, is looking at this 360-degree approach to health. But some of this is intuitive, right? So it was in this clinic, let's call it a clinic, right? It was busy Monday afternoon clinic. I'm already running behind, and this 16-year-old boy called Devon walks in through the door with his mother. And I see the letter that's there on the file, and basically on the Saturday, this guy had tried to harm himself, tried to cut his wrists, and he ended up in the ER.
Right. And
he was evaluated there, and basically they had discharged him. They thought he was safe to discharge, but there was a letter to say, come and see Dr. Chatterjee, and can I please start an antidepressant for him? So he was there to pick up his prescription.
Now, you were supposed to give it to him.
I was supposed to give it to him, right? That would have been the easiest thing in the world to do, right? I would have taken a few minutes, right? I would be running on time. I'd get back to my next patient, and I could keep going on the kind of treadmill of my day, right? But I thought, wait a minute, I know this family. They seem pretty well balanced. I've never picked anything up before that there's an issue here. Why would a 16-year-old boy from a seemingly well-rounded, well-balanced family end up in ER? I've got to know more, right? So I spent a bit of time trying to figure out what was going on. I couldn't quite get to the bottom of it. I said, hey guys, look, would you mind coming back tomorrow at the end of my morning clinic, and I'll spend a bit longer with you? I said, okay. So they came back the next day, right? It was a Tuesday morning, end of the clinic. And we spent about 15, 20 minutes chatting, and I thought, I think your use of social media, in my head, might be negatively impacting your mental health, right? Did I have a study to prove it? No. Right, but I said to him, Devin, look, I think the way you're using social media, right, might be contributing. I didn't say it's the cause, right? I said it might be a factor. Are you interested in reducing that? He goes, well, Doc, do you want to think it's going to help? I said, Devin, look, I can commit to you that I'm going to try and help you, right? But shall we give it a try? So I said to him, we come up with this deal, and for 1 hour in the morning, he gets up, he doesn't go on his phone, right? He comes about 7 days later, and I say, hey, Devin, how you doing? Now, he said, hey, I don't know, I'm still not great, but I feel less up and down in the day. I'm sleeping better. Don't get me wrong, right? He wasn't suddenly cured, right? I'm not saying that, but he was starting to show a sign of improvement. I said, Devin, can we extend that out a little bit? He goes, all right. So we move it up over the next few weeks to 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening before bed, where he doesn't go on his smartphone, right? And he keeps coming back, and he's consistently starting to improve bit by bit. I think, okay, this is interesting. Again, I didn't have any training for this, right? I was just trying to figure it out, I was trying to figure out how can I help this guy. I was also then doing a bit of reading, right? I was reading about how our diets can impact our mental health. So he comes in and I say, hey, Devin, what are you eating? Typical
candy, McDonald's.
Typical teenager, right? 16-year-old, processed junk food. And I drew a little picture. I said, hey, Devin, did you know that actually when your blood sugar is going up and down throughout the day because of what you're eating, that's not just a blood sugar problem. That's not just an energy problem. When your blood sugar is falling rapidly, like 2 hours after you've eaten, let's say a bagel, right, that's an alarm sign, or it can be an alarm sign to your body, and your stress hormones, like cortisol and adrenaline, can also go up, and that can impact your mood. So really? Like, yeah. So I drew it out for him, so he got it. He said, well, what can I do? I said, hey, well, Devin, look, why don't I help you understand how you can stabilize your blood sugar throughout the day with a bit more sort of protein and healthy fats that you would take with him, things like nuts with him to snack on. Right, and bit by bit, he came back and said, I'm starting to feel better. And then I didn't see him for ages. And I come into my surgery one day in my clinic, right, and there's a letter waiting for me, and it's his mother. And he said, dear Dr. Chatterjee, I just want to thank you. Devin is like a different boy. He is happy at school. He's engaging with his friends. He's joining clubs at the weekends. Wow. I just want to thank you. And in that moment, then I just thought, I know the science now of what went on there, but I didn't need to know it back then. I just thought, this is a 16-year-old boy, right, who could have been labeled with depression, right, at 16,
right.
Who could have
been medication,
put on an antidepressant, and that was 5 years ago at least, right? He could easily have been on that medication, still today, 5 years later, I know he's still doing well, right? And I'm not saying that works in every single case,
Right.
but what I am trying to say is that when, back to the original question is why do I say disease is an illusion? We could have said you have depression, right? That is just something you have got,
Yeah.
and here's your treatment for it. And I'm saying for him, right? His lifestyle choices that he often didn't realize he was making, he didn't realize the impact. He's made some quick changes in his lifestyle, right? And he's transformed his health. So he, arguably no longer has depression, right? Doesn't mean he can't slip back again in the future.
Right.
This is what I mean by disease as an illusion. He doesn't, I think for me, I feel that's my job as a doctor. I'm privileged to be able to tap into what's going on. And that boy, if there's a fork in the road, right, he could have gone down one path.
Yeah.
What does that do to your psyche if you know, oh, hey, I've got depression. That's why I'm like this. There's nothing I can do, right? And again,
Just being a victim of this. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not, I'd like to be a respectful and compassionate guy. I'm not saying there aren't people out there who don't benefit from this stuff or from it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's too easy to say you've got something and give a pill. And I think 80% of the
Nose
time,
to the floor.
we
And
don't
up.
need to do that. And,
Up
and
your arms.
on my show, I managed to make, something like a condition like type 2 diabetes, in inverted commas, disappear after 30 days, right? I helped a lady with fibromyalgia pains who'd been under doctors for 10 years be pain-free after 6 weeks, right? A 30-year history of back pain, gone. And an opiate and a sleeping pill addiction, or certainly a dependency,
Pain reliever,
gone.
Yeah.
When we actually identify what's the root cause of this. And
What's usually the root cause for most people? Is it an emotional attachment that they're holding on to? Is it what they're eating and their lifestyle choices? Is it trauma that they face that they're holding on to? What is it usually? Or do you see a pattern?
it's a combination
Yeah.
of things, right? I certainly would say that I think there is an emotional pattern in pretty much every case. Again,
Really?
yeah, I really do. And this is...
Any case of disease, essentially.
No, sorry, I'm not saying in any case of disease. I'm saying in this sort of... Look, you could have something which, I think I need to really be clear. I'm talking about chronic disease as opposed to acute disease, right? So an acute problem like a pneumonia, right? You've got a pneumonia,
Yeah.
right? You've got...
You got to clear it up.
You've got to clear it up. You've got, very simply, you've got the overgrowth of a bug in your lung, right? We identify that bug, or we give you a treatment, an antibiotic, that kills that bug, and then you don't have that
anymore.
disease anymore,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. Right, that's an acute problem.
So you still prescribe medication to things like that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
right. But a chronic disease. So let's take type 2 diabetes is so common and widespread. Let's just think about that for a minute. That happens when you pass an arbitrary point on a scale, right? So here in the US, right, your HbA1c, which is your average marker of, it's a blood test which shows your average blood sugar for the last 3 months. Right, if you're 6.5 or above, we say you've got type 2 diabetes. If you're 6 to 6.5, you have something called pre-diabetes.
Wow.
No, so here it's 5.7, right? But the point is,
Right.
if it's just below that at 5.6, we say you don't have anything.
You're fine.
You're fine. But you're not fine. This is a
Very
continuum.
close. Yeah.
Very close, right? And so what I'm just trying to get the point across is that something doesn't magically change when you go up 0.1 and you're now in,
Pre-diabetes already.
yeah, this has been building up for 10 years. And I want us to be picking this up 1 year in saying, hey, look, you don't have pre-diabetes yet, but you're going to get it within a few years.
Yeah.
And my approach really, Lewis, is about 4 key areas of health, right? I find that what I do with most people comes down to what I call the 4 pillars of health. That's what I outlined. That's what I did on the show. That's what I outlined in my book. Because I think when we can simplify health down, people get it,
Right.
right? And I cover connection and I cover emotional health, but I do it under the umbrella of relax, right?
Relax.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
just to back up, my 4 pillars
That's
of health.
the first pillar. Relax.
Yeah, and there's a reason I started with relax, because...
When we are tight and stressed, that's when we cause dis-ease, right?
Absolutely.
The more tight we are for the longer amount of years, we build something up in the body that has negative symptoms, right?
Yeah, and can dictate our choices. If you're feeling stressed, you're not having any time to yourself, right? You will find it harder to make healthy food choices.
Yeah.
You will find it harder to have the motivation to work out and get your body moving.
When the brain is a roller coaster, you're causing disease, dysfunction in your body, right?
Absolutely, and it's interesting. The publisher first said, you should start with food, and I said, no. I want to look. Everyone will expect me to start with food.
Yeah.
Right? We undervalue relaxation.
Peace of mind.
Yeah. We undervalue relaxation in society. We prioritize, when we talk about health, everyone's talking about food and movement. Right? And don't get me wrong, they're important. But I give equal priority to food, movement, sleep, and relaxation. And I think that's what makes my approach a little bit different, is that I say, look, you don't need the perfect diet. You don't need the perfect workout regime, right? You need to do enough in each pillar. And I think that's what leads to the changes that not only work in 2 weeks, they're still going to be working in 2 months, in 6 months, in 12 months, in 2 years. If we can all go on a crash 10-day diet, feel better. All of us can do that. I could do that.
Right.
But will that change my behavior? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, and as an athlete, we always talk about being in the zone, being in the flow. And the only way to get in the flow is to be relaxed. Because if you're playing basketball or football and you're running tight like this, intense, you're not going to be able to flow at any moment and move and be agile. So you must be able to be relaxed.
Yeah,
in order to achieve peak results in your sport.
Yeah, so I totally agree. It actually reminds me of the story that I talk about in the 4th chapter in Relax. I say we all need a daily practice of stillness, and I define what that is, right? And in that chapter, I talk about flow state and talk about athletes. And I talk about Tiger Woods, actually. And I always remember, as a kid growing up, I would just idolize that guy and think, God, he's just amazing what he's doing, and he's getting all kinds of people interested in the sport just for his brilliance at the time. And I remember, a lot of people used to criticize him. And I remember in an interview he said once, on a Sunday on the back nine, I can't hear the crowds. I don't know all that emotional commotion that's going on. I'm in the zone. He's in flow state, right? He is literally just in the moment and zoned in. But you know who else is in flow state? My 5-year-old daughter or my 7-year-old son, when they're colouring a book, right? Or building Lego blocks, they're in flow state, right? I could talk to them, and they're not being rude and ignoring me. They're just completely immersed in the moment, and we can learn from those kids. And that's the thing about technology, right? It takes us out. We start to get distracted. I love tech, right? I love tech, but the whole relaxed pillar, a big feature of that is how do we use technology in a way that it empowers us and it helps us rather than enslaves us.
Yeah.
And I think for many of us, unfortunately, technology is like
we're slaves. We're slaves to it. And it was a year and a half ago when I realized, I thought to myself, has there ever been a day in the last 15 years since I had my cell phone? I got my cell phone when I was 17, and I was like, have I ever had a day where I didn't have my cell phone on me? And I couldn't think of a moment, one day where I didn't have it on me. And I was like, that's kind of a crime. Like, I feel like that's a really bad sign that I'm addicted to something if I do it every single day for 15 years. Yeah. And it's, I started sleeping with it right next to my head, on my, next to my desk or whatever, in my bed. And I was just like, I was always checking it. And I was like, something's got to change. And that's when I took my first trip without it, and I left it here. And it was so relaxing and relieving to not be chained to a technology. And then I did it again recently, and it was, again, another reminder, like, I need to do this at least once a year for a week. Yeah. And do these Sabbaths, like you talked about, one day a week. Even just going out to dinner, without it, leaving it home. Like going to the movie and not taking it with you. Like, whenever you go out one night a week, 2 nights a week, just leave it at home. And I feel like it's so freeing. It's like fully connect. It's like a holiday. It's like you feel like you've had a holiday. Just 3 hours without your phone. Yeah. Your brain just, it all comes down. And I think what's crazy for me, Lewis, is that in 2018, we have to talk to people. I feel as a medical doctor, I need to write
25% of my entire book on relaxation. Because I think if you go back 20 years, right, and again, maybe it's a romantic viewpoint of the world before, but let's say your standard family, right? People come home from work.
You have dinner together.
You have dinner together, right? And then after dinner, if you've got kids, you might put them to bed, right? If you don't, I think people would maybe go sit on the sofa and put the TV on, right? And there wouldn't be the option of, can I keep working on my business? Can I catch up on my work emails so my day is easier tomorrow? I think you didn't even have that opportunity. So I think relaxation almost, it would be there. It would naturally be, it would be there in the evenings. I think because we've got this amazing technology where we can literally talk to someone with a video 5,000 miles away, which is incredible, right? But it also means that